Hi, everybody. This is Dawn with another Dawn production. And I was given this bracelet today at church to repair. Um, as you can see, it looks like it was originally strung with Opalon, and it's unfortunately doing its thing that it does. It'll fray. Um, so I thought that I would restring it with using some Soft Flex satin silver, um, and then one of my favorite bead tips, which was already put on here. I must have started, which I do that quite often. I'll start a project and then have an ADD moment and put it to the side and do something else in a different color and save this for another project. So here we are. I'm going to use this and put a nice easy clasp onto it. And also I thought, because they've got just jump rings right onto the beading cord, and so I thought I would switch it out for these bales that are in the same metal tone. And I haven't quite decided if I'm going to use these 15-0 silver um, seed beads or use some of these round spacers. I have a couple little ideas in mind, so of how I'm going to do this. I actually just thought about, well, we're just going to play and we'll figure it out together. And at the end, I'm going to ask y'all to let me know in the comments which way y'all like it the best. So let's get started by cutting this part. So how was your day today? Did everybody have a good day? I was very sleepy. I had a hard time staying awake, to be honest, which I hate it when that happens. Sometimes I'll go into the nursing mom's room and lay down. We don't have any nursing moms at the moment, so um, nobody minds that I go in there because I can still hear the sermon if I go in there. I just wanted to see, since this looks about the same as that, trying to think if I want to try to use a toggle or a regular. I think I want to use this other type of clasp to make it nice and easy for her. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out now. Oh, it might be nice to use leather in a button. But I wouldn't want to do that without asking her first. So in the meantime, and please forgive me clearing my throat like a lot. There's allergies. I probably should have taken some allergy medicine before starting to film if it becomes too bothersome, then I may have to pause and come back once I get that under control. Because nobody wants to sit here and listen to me clear my throat again and again. So here's the clasp. And these are really easy. They're usually really easy to get on, and then you just give it a little squeeze if you find it necessary, you know. Just give it a little squeeze, and it's pretty secure, and it's pretty also. So sorry, I'm just still trying to decide if I want to start the pattern with the silver bead, or yeah, I think I want to start with the other one, since this does look very much like the spacer bead. Oh, and I know what I wanted to do also. So this is 10 inches. We're going to have the crosses in the middle. And I know I'm going to be taking some of these out in order to make room for the clasp. So well, yeah, I really don't feel like doing bracelet math, so I think we're just going to go for it and figure it out along the way. And I actually thought about putting some background music on, but I haven't read all the rules about that, if I'm being honest. I know one time Colleen was doing a tutorial and a certain song came on, and she wasn't really saying what it was because, I don't know, something about promotion or I don't know. So, and since I'm just barely getting started, I don't want to be, breaking any rules and going into the Tuba View jail, if there is such a thing. We need to start. Let's put another one. Let's do one more of this. Am I off camera? Y'all be sure and holler at me whenever I'm off camera. LOL. So what I was thinking, I wonder if these will fit up underneath. This is only one way to find out. It does fit. And 2 fits perfectly. Actually, one will work. Look at that. Huh. Let's see how that's going to work. Again, I'm sorry about my runny nose. Mm, what do you think? I did want to try one other thing. I want to try one more thing just to kind of see how it looks. I wanted to try this with this, and then this, and then this. Mm, mm. Which that's another project. That little rattle that you just heard. Huh. Do we like that? Hmm. I'm gonna get my little 4mm jump rings and so whenever I'm closing jump rings, I like to do that and make sure that they're very closed, and I will even go in and do that. Well, I don't know if you can see. I really wanted to show how nice and closed that is. You can even run your finger across and not feel anything because it's all nice and round. I do not want somebody bringing something back to me and it failed because of a jump ring. I mean, really? Because I didn't close a jump ring? No, 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 no. Nope. Or I didn't close, an eye pin good. Something like that. Just, that's just silly. I mean, things happen. We're only human, and you also got to give yourself some grace. Whenever things like that do happen. But, like on ear wires, you got to close them. Make sure that they close good, and um, so I know this changes the look of it, and I guess ultimately I'm just gonna need her approval. But in the meantime, do we like it? Do we like it like that? Or because the way that it was strung originally was it had the bigger. Well, here, I'll just use this one. So it was just like this. But we want to do it different because we want to protect the bead stringing wire this time. So I think if we're going to keep the design as close to the original, then I guess really just put it like that. But I don't know, I think I like the other way better. I can always get her approval before I clamp it off. Hmm. Yeah, I think I like it better the other way. So, I'm gonna go with this, and then this, which these I got from Bargain Bead Box. I mean, Beadbox bargained. Yep, Beadbox bargained. Which, ugh. I haven't placed an order in a while because this girl's been broke. But yeah, I just like that. I like that a lot. And it'll give a little added space in between the crosses. So we're gonna go with that. And that. This on top. And this one. I do want to go ahead and add it because I want to see how it's hanging. How it's hanging. Anyway, so let's see. Well, I feel like I should be telling y'all some kind of entertaining story, but I don't know if I have any right now. To be honest, I'm just So remember, friends, whenever you're opening up a jump ring, you always just walk it open. You don't ever want to pull it apart. I actually watched somebody in a tutorial. I don't remember who they were. It was for doing clay, though. I should have put these on before stringing these beads. It was actually for making some jewelry out of clay, and I don't remember who it was, but they even pointed out, they said, I know most people, they do it where they walk it open, but I don't. I just do it like this. And she seemed to have it down and had no problem getting it back to the right shape. But no, you don't. Typically, you don't ever want to do that because you'll never get it back to the shape that you want. And even if it becomes a little bit oval, I'm not mad about it because that makes it not hang right where. It's almost like my lighting is too bright, where everything is so shiny that I'm having a hard time seeing. There we go. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna put this back on. I'm gonna put this back on, and this back on, and this back on. And I want to check the distance. Yeah, I like that. That's good. That is good. That's good. Good, good, good. I like it. I like it. That's. Oh, now it's gonna bug me. Somebody said that in a movie that I watched. I like it. Huh. That's gonna drive me crazy until I remember what movie that was from. Oops. Almost did the wrong one. Y'all are supposed to tell me whenever I'm doing the wrong one. Ha ha ha. You probably were. And I heard you. Okie dokie. Now we're going to take this one off of the big old jump ring. Sorry, friends. At least I don't have a big frog in my throat. Ugh, sometimes. Do y'all have problems with allergies like that? It just drives me crazy. And you know what? I never, ever had issues with allergies until I don't remember. I was still living in the old apartment, so it was before. Oh, it was 2016. Only reason I remember is because that was the year that I dropped the lid to a skillet on my leg. Yes, I dropped the lid to the skillet on my leg, and it put a huge hematoma on the thinnest part of my shin, and it turned into a blood blister, and then I had a hole all the way to the bone. It was so gross. And I had to be in, it got infected, and I went to the hospital. It was ridiculous. So, doing the dishes can put you in the hospital. Isn't that crazy? All I meant to do was pick up the lid to the skillet. There were three things that needed to go in the dishwasher: two plastics and a large lid to the skillet. That's it. And whenever I went to put it in there, I lost my grip, and I guess I tried to catch it with my leg. I don't know. All I know is it landed just perfectly. And I just had vascular surgery on that same leg. And they ablated my greater saphenous vein, less than 24 hours before that. And so, but the doctor, because I've had both of my hips replaced already, was supposed to put me on what they call prophylactic antibiotics. In fact, anytime I go to the dentist or anytime anybody's ever gonna poke me, like if I get epidural injections or any kind of procedure, I have to take a huge, or I don't know if I said dentist yet or not, but a big honking dose of really strong antibiotics prior to, like, an hour before the procedure. That way, it protects from any infection. And the doctor did not do that. The book learned, you know, well educated, he does this every day doctor. I mean, I didn't think about it because I don't do this every day. So I had that done, and then accidentally dropped the lid of the skillet on my leg, and it just started turning red, and I had red streaks going up my leg. And I went back to him several times during follow up. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5. Let's see how long we are. I got a little. That's only 5.5 inches. So we're going to need more. So anyway, that's the pattern. I'm not going to make y'all watch me unstring it and restring it. But, so I'm going to pause for right now, and I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and add on at least 2 more. So this is the downside of using these, is that if this happens, I'm not going to waste. Well, actually, I am. I am going to waste. And in the time I'm sitting here trying to decide if I want to waste this one, because I just got a whole brand new order of them in, then I'll be crying whenever I'm short. So, I'm not going to waste. Actually, yeah, I am, because then what if it's still not long enough, and then, oh, you know what? I don't have to waste. I can just cut. Just cut another piece. That's what we're going to do. Let's just cut another piece of silver silk. Not silver silk, duh. put a bead buddy down here because I don't want those to fall off. And I'm just going to string them right along like that. Lickety split. Oh, and she had the cutest, the lady that gave me this, she had the nicest little tassel necklace on that I'm also going to try to recreate. It had all sorts of little tassels. She had a chain tassel and other, and a leather tassel all on the same necklace. It was really cute. And it was on a connector. And I actually have that kind. I have a lot of inventory, friends. I have a lot. I have been really blessed with a lot of people at church that don't bead anymore, and they'll give me their supplies, and so I have a lot. And I've been trying to get everything organized so I even know what I have. And then, there's still the teeny tiny addiction that I think a lot of us have of buying even more stuff because, they just keep coming out with really cool new, super, super cool new stuff. So, and I almost have this completely done. And then we can just add on some more beads at the end. Maybe I can edit, figure out how to edit. No, I want to add in funny stuff. Also, I gotta admit, I like it whenever I watch a video and it's got the funny little add-ins. So let's see if I did it. I had nobody's missing. That worked out cool. Okay, so now we're gonna add another one on this end. And add another one on this end. Then we're gonna check our length. So, and actually, let's check the length of this. Oh, I got this really cool pin. Check this out. This is the neatest pin. It was at church, just laying around, and the lady said I could have it. Check it out. It's got a little ruler, and it even has a level. I didn't even know that. And then it's got this. I don't know why. I guess maybe the lid used to screw on. I don't know. But anyhow, so this is right at 1 inch. And I've got my other little ruler over here. So now that's exactly 6 inches. So that's going to make it 7 inches. So let's add one of those over there. those over there. Now let's check. Yep, 6.5. Boom. So why I said boom is because 7.5 is industry standard for bracelet length, and so that's going to be perfect. And now we're gonna I'm gonna show you guys how to use these bead tips, because I just love them. Love, love, love. I think they look more finished, and it deletes the necessity for a wire guardian. So we're going to put on our crimp. And then I have learned to string it back through. And it makes it way more secure. I was not doing that for a really long time. I've tried just putting the crimp on here and doing a flat crimp. I do not recommend that. I've put it on here and done a regular crimp, and they will come apart. It'll just pop right out. And I could not figure out why for a minute it was coming apart. But ever since I started doing the loop around process, so you thread it, loop it around, thread it again, and now I'm gonna crimp, turn it, which, yes, it makes it a little challenging to crimp again, and then give it a good squeeze. Sometimes I have to change pliers. And then now I'm gonna put my bead tip on. And you want to make sure that they're nice and open. Otherwise, they are very challenging. I mean, you may not even be able to get them on at all if they're not open very good. And it's real easy to open them because it's pretty soft metal. Some of them, I actually got some that were stainless steel, and those were not easy to open at all. But these are pretty easy. They're just kind of like a sinker, like a fishing sinker. So you just get it open, sesame. That should be good. And then usually whenever I'm doing the starting end and there's extra wire, it's usually pretty easy to get it on and not have the excess string, because it is a bit of a challenge to Um, if you put it in here with this excess on here, it's really hard to get it to flush cut. Oh my goodness. I don't normally have this much. It's not normally this fiddly. But what I have learned to kind of do is to make it pivot like that. Looks like I need more flush cutters. And then pivot it back. And I use my crimping pliers because it goes around for that initial squeeze. Which I have my very first video is doing a dedicated tutorial on using these, which I'll try to learn how to put the link in the description box. You just squeeze and squeeze from this direction and that direction until you get it closed. And also you can turn it this direction just to kind of get it from another direction or another angle. There we go. And then that's what it looks like whenever you get all done. I like it. That is going to drive me crazy. I can see the guy in my head saying it. I like it. I can't remember what movie it is. I watch a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of movies. Ooh, speaking of movies, have y'all seen Peanut Butter Falcon? I love that movie. It is such a good movie. It's one of my go-tos. And no, this is not a paid promotion. I just love that movie. It's so adorable. Okay. See, that just looks so nice. So nice and clean and finished. Now we're going to do this end and attach our clasp. And then we're all done. We are done with this repair. So how much do y'all charge for your repairs? I'm only going to charge her $5 for this repair. I mean, it depends on, how hard something is. Yep, I got it in. And this is kind of challenging, getting this end to be snug up to the bead. But in my opinion, it's worth it. It is worth it. So you do want to leave just a little bit of room. You know, you gotta have the wiggle room. Um, for it to slip in there, and then plus, you know, you always want to have. You don't want your beads to be too tight. I've actually had a bracelet break because I did not leave enough space, and she put it on for the first time, and it just popped all over the place, and she lost some of the beads. Oh, that's so embarrassing whenever that happens. You barely give somebody something and it just pops. Whether it's a gift or they bought it, please buy my jewelry so it can fail on you. Ugh. So people are fussing at me that I'm not charging enough for my jewelry, but nobody's buying anything. I just think that, right now I'm really broke, so. I had a holiday flash sale and I marked everything that was holiday themed down really, really low. And so a lot of folks were fussing at me about that. And, oh, so this I've done both ways. I've clipped it off and then tried to string it on there. It is very hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very challenging. So I strongly recommend leaving the excess on there for this end where you don't have. Whenever you're first starting out, it's super easy to get it on there and not have the excess. But I'm sorry, friends. I need my magnifier for a second. I have to go off camera for just a second. Yep, it's in there good. Then I'm going to do the little pivot that I was telling you about. And use my flush cutters. And then come in with the crimping pliers. And then switch off to the regular pliers. Oop, I am way off camera. I am so sorry, friend. I am so sorry. Yep. Voila. Then I always give it a look-see down here. Make sure that's nice and closed, and it is. And that's nice and squeezed together, and it is. And that looks so pretty. That looks so nice. Now we're gonna. Well, you know what? can use these jump rings. I wonder if these will be too big. I really like using my 4mm though. I might have to get out the 5mm. Oh, sorry, friend. So sorry. Didn't mean to bump you there. Hope nobody got really seasick. Let me see if these are gonna work for that end. That might, we may have to get out to 5mm. Yeah, I'm gonna need my 5mm, which I have right here. I think they're right here. Which I got these from Bargain Bead Book. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, where did they go? Here they are. Okay. Won't it is? Won't it is? Okie dokie. There's that. There's that end. And then I'll do the other end and color this done. And then I was also tasked with making a matching set of earrings to a bracelet. Ooh, that's what I could do with these leftover beads. Didn't I have two? Which I'm sure I have some of these beads. Yep, there we go. That's that. That is that. And I've got two beads. So, let's see. Sorry to make y'all listen to me breathe, but um, I wonder. I don't know. I could do those. I had some that were teardrop shape and smaller. I don't know what I did with them. Bummer I don't have any crosses that match. Hmm. Ooh. I have some angel feathers. Wonder if she would like angel feathers. I think I'm gonna make them, and if she doesn't like them, I can take them apart. That sounds like a plan. So now I just need my wire. There's some 20 gauge wire. And all I need is just a little bitty piece. I'm just going to warm up the wire, warm it up a little bit. Yep, yep, yep. And we're going to flush cut. And we're going to flush cut. Probably shouldn't need more than that. And I'm just going to turn a loop. Straighten it up. I don't know why they always come out crooked, but they do. Open this up. Well, add on the angel feather. Well, I don't know if it's an angel feather, but I like to think it's an angel feather. And then we'll put on this bead and this leftover bead. Voila. And then I'm going to do a wrapped loop on top. I think I've got enough wire for a wrapped loop. Sure I do. I like to make mine really, really small. I only like to go around 1 or 2 times. That way I know it's secure, but it's not wire heavy unless that's the look I'm going for. And then I like to give it a little start with my finger and then pick up with the pliers, because I like mine to be tight. We'll go around once and twice. Give it a little smush. Just straighten it up. Stick him around those pliers, make it round again. Yep. Now we're going to cut off that excess. And that's it. And then I'll go and make the other one off camera. We'll go ahead and pop on that ear wire. Now she's got a matching pair of earrings too. Check out my ear wires nearby. That's it. Now she's got a matching pair of earrings to go along with her bracelet. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I hope y'all have a beautiful rest of your night. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share if so compelled. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.